This is bad too. Good morning, all. As we enter into the service, please note that those of you participating via Zoom have been muted by our host, and we ask that house participants remain masked while in the sanctuary. Also, please be advised that this service is being recorded and, with the exception of joys and concerns, will be published online. Finally, if you wish, take a moment to arrange your own chalice at home. From our very first breath, we reach out. Co-regulation, not self-regulation, is our nature. We find our cues from the sun and the moon, from each parent and caregiver. We find our place in this great turning planet by turning to one another. Generation to generation, we awaken to the dawn and fall asleep at the evening's end. Our life's journey is part of something greater, something simple, something divine. A flame cannot be lit without a spark. A life cannot begin without the air, and we cannot begin to find ourselves without love. May we reach out to one another. May we offer love and nurturing care. May we join together in celebration of the interdependence of our lives. In this spirit, let us worship together. The opening words were written by Elizabeth Mott. Oh my goodness. Judy, would you like to light our chalice this morning? I'm out of practice, I didn't think of it. I invite you to light your own chalice and place it where it can be seen by all of us. You got it.
It takes a village.
It takes a
A
village.
village to light a chalice.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with that.
Yes, I will. We light this chalice for the web of life which sustains us, for the sacred circle of life in which we have our being, for the earth, the sky, above and below, and for our Mother Earth, and for the mystery. Words by Paul Sprecher. Before we sing our first hymn, let me remind our remote participants to leave yourselves muted, and our in-house participants to remain masked. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with Mary and Jan as big and loud as you like. Make it a joyous experience. Please stand if you are able and sing the opening hymn, All Things Bright and Beautiful. Lyrics by Cecil Francis Alexander and music by William Henry Monk.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. Each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings, He made their glowing colors. He
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are glad you have joined us today. Our UUCC sanctuary sits on land which the Selenian and Chumash indigenous peoples historically inhabited. We honor their contribution to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to gather as a faith community on their unceded ancestral lands. As a Unitarian Universalist community, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation run by the democratic process. We invite speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest to our community that connect with the UU 7 principles. Today's service centers around the 7th principle. We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all of existence of which we are a part. Our 7th principle may be our Unitarian Universalist way of coming to fully embrace something greater than ourselves. The interdependent web, expressed as the spirit of life, the ground of all being, the oneness of all existence, the community forming power, the process of life, the creative force, even God, can help us develop that social understanding of ourselves that we in our culture so desperately need. It is a source of meaning to which we can dedicate our lives. My name is Janet Cooper, and I am your worship associate for this morning's service. Hi, Dolores. Welcome, everybody. We have a small but vital congregation here. I would like to extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you joined us this morning. If you're not on the mailing list, please visit the UUCC website at uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. And please check out What's Happening, a weekly e-blast sent to all members and friends. This is a great way to keep up with the latest news in this community. And a reminder, if you wish to see this or any of the past Zoom services again, recordings of these services can be found on the UUCC website and Facebook as well. The membership committee invites non-members to consider joining our community. Please contact Diane DeMarco or a person on the board if you're interested. Thank you. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. The affirmation is both a recognition of the nature of this community as well as a promise we make and aspire to. Let us now recite the UUCC affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. We set aside this time for any short announcements that would be of interest to our UUCC community members and friends. Please keep your items short and to the point. For any items that need more explanation, please call or email the person after the service to be respectful of everyone's time. If you have an announcement, please raise your hand. When Diane or I call on you, please stand or unmute yourself, then speak. So do we have any announcements?
Yes, I have one.
Okay, Randy.
Move the slide, please. Okay, it has started. We've had 2 shows. We have one this evening. Please, if you can, come by and check out our Follies production this year of The Wizard of Cambrias. It's been very well received so far, and I'd love to have all of you check it out. So that's tonight at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6:30, and then next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7 o'clock. And my second announcement is that there will be a worship committee meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. via Zoom. So those of you on the committee, please be there. And the remainder, anybody else wants to join, please let me know via email or a text. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Do we have any other announcements in the sanctuary? Okay, Diane?
Yes, Ted Key, would you please unmute yourself and tell us your announcement?
Well, good morning, everybody. I don't know whether everybody is aware, but our road cleanup people are making some money. So I thought I'd just put this out there. There's a $500 check headed towards the church here from the last 2 outings on 46. And now that our valiant Sue Davis has expanded our coverage of roads, we're going to have money coming from her as well. We get $250 every time we clean up, on top of being
That's good. Yay.
good doers. So I guess that good deed doers, I guess that fits in with the follies. Anyway, so I just want to let everybody know it's a brand new revenue stream for the church, and we're real happy and hoping that people will be. I mean, it's a great way for people to add value, do good, and have a fun time. Come on out with us and clean up the roads. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I have an announcement. We have a new fundraiser, and we'd like everybody to get involved who would like to be involved. It's all about craft making, and anyone who has made crafts or continues to make crafts or feels creative can participate. We are doing this in conjunction with the Cambria Anonymous Neighbors. Is that what it's called, Janet, right?
No, sorry. The Cambria Neighbors Club.
The Cambria Neighbors Club. Thank you. Cambria Neighbors Club. They're putting it on, and we are part of that. And the interesting part is that you get to keep half of the money, so that anything that sells, half of it goes to you and half of it goes to the church. So this is a win-win situation. We hope everybody will get involved and make your crafts. And let's see, I have one other announcement, and that is that we will be having a covenant meeting on September 23rd, 2:00 in the sanctuary. And you'll be getting a notice about that as well. If you have any questions about either one of those, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Diane. And just FYI, the Arts and Crafts Fair is scheduled for October 15th. So we all still have plenty of time to complete our arts and crafts. Okay, next week, Michael Esselin will present Echo Tones. Sharing together some of our personal and significant joys and concerns brings us closer as a faith community. We invite you to share the milestones that are deeply felt as part of your personal life, along with expressions of gratitude or acknowledgement. But please be mindful and considerate of all who come to worship with us this morning. This is a time of community building. Thank you, Diane. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and sorrows which may have gone unspoken today, but are also deeply felt in this community. The first reading is titled Nature by Henry David Thoreau. O nature, I do not aspire to be the highest in thy choir, to be a meteor in thy sky, or comet that may range on high, only a zephyr that may blow among the reeds by the river low. Give me thy most privy place where to run my airy race. In some withdrawn, unpublic mead, let me sigh upon a reed, or in the woods with leafy din, whisper the still evening in. Some still work give me to do, only be it near to you. For I'd rather be thy child and pupil in the forest wild, than be the king of men elsewhere, and most sovereign slave of care. To have one moment of thy dawn, then share the city's year forlorn. Let us join in a time of meditation and of silence. Let us seek the quiet and the calm, laying aside our struggles, and in the silence, may there be a reverence in our hearts, a thankfulness within our spirit, and a deepening understanding of the meaning of our lives. Let us enter the stillness. May we find the compassion and empathy we need to strengthen relationships. May we find ways to love each other well. May we not judge or condemn, but rather build a beloved community. The second reading is excerpts from the book, The Nature Principle, by Richard Louv. Got dirt? A study conducted by Dorothy Matthews and Susan Jenks at the Sage College in Troy, New York, has found that a bacterium given to mice helped them navigate a maze twice as fast. The bacterium in question is Mycobacterium vaccae, a natural soil bacterium commonly ingested or inhaled when people spend time in nature. The effect wore off in a few days, but, Matthews said, the research suggests that M. vaccae may play a role in learning in mammals. She speculated that creating outdoor learning environments where M. vaccae is present may improve the ability to learn new tasks. Australian researchers suggest that the troubling increase in cases of myopia, nearsightedness, is linked to children and young people spending less time outdoors, where eyes are conditioned to focus on longer distances. City life is dominated by mechanical time, punctuality, deadlines, etc. Yet our bodies and minds are dominated by biological time. We know that conflict between biological and mechanical time, jet lag comes to mind, can lead to irritability, depression, insomnia, tension, and headaches. The experiences of nature in a neurological sense can restore harmony to the functions of the brain as a whole. This is perhaps a technical explanation of the process that occurs when people clear their head by going for a walk in the park. The anthem today is Holy Now by Peter Mayer and will be sung by Mary Schwalbe.
When I was a girl each week, on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread. And everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So a challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half fair, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read the questioning child its face and say it's not a testament? Will that be very hard to say? See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half fair, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Thank you, Mary and Jan. That was beautiful. Today's sermon is titled Nature as Nurture by Reverend Margaret A. Beckman, to be read by Sue Davis.
Wow. Thank you, Janet. And thank you very much, Mary and Jan, for the music. I tell you, it's really good when you're here live in the sanctuary. So for those of you at home, please come and join us with this beautiful music and setting, okay? And I also want to thank you for singing Morning Has Broken. When I was a little girl in England, we sang that every morning in assembly at school. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the other one. See, I'm not reading off my script now. I'm ad-libbing. We sang two songs in morning assembly, and Morning Has Broken was one of them, and All Things Bright and Beautiful was the one that I remember most, and that's what you sang for me. Thank you. Sorry. Now I go to my script. So much with ad-libbing. As to why I chose this sermon, so here you're used to seeing me in kind of my grown-up church clothes, but if you take a look at the picture on the screen, that is also me. It's the other me, outside on the trail in the dirt and mud, in another one of my happy places. Margaret Beckman completed a Master's of Art in Theological Studies at McCormick Theological Seminary in Chicago in 1983. In 1989, she and her partner moved to Maine. She continued her studies and was ordained by the UU Society of Bangor. She has completed 14 years as a hospice chaplain, 12 years as part-time minister, before she was called to serve the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Castine, Maine in 2016. Margaret and her partner, Christy, live in Dedham, Maine, where they enjoy life together at Green Lake. When not working, they are usually found in the sanctuary of the great outdoors. Yes, yes.
We missed that one.
Yes. That's it. And I also wanted to show you my shirt today, even though I'm in my grown-up clothes for church. I did wear a shirt that says, "Let's go outdoors." The music really got to me. I'm kind of out to sync. It was just beautiful. I'm like there.
I forgot to turn my amplifier on. So I Zoom heard the guitar.
been that kind of morning, but it's good because it's this kind of a sermon that's going to uplift us. So enjoy. This is Margaret Beckman's words. Shinrin Yoku. It's Japanese. It means forest bathing. Shinrin Yoku is a popular method of retaining or restoring health and well-being in Japan, and increasingly in many other places. Scientific studies of the practice have shown a variety of health benefits, from lowering stress and blood pressure to easing the side effects and increasing the effectiveness of cancer treatments. Spending time in nature can improve cognitive function and increase creativity. And here's one for you. Forest bathing can reduce morbid rumination, a condition of mental, emotional, spiritual rumination that leads one to focus on the negative aspects of one's life, oftentimes leading to increased anxiety and depression. Wandering quietly in the forest can lower the activity in this brooding portion of our brain and thus decrease morbid rumination and increase happiness. It is indeed fascinating that science can now describe, measure, and even to some extent predict the benefits of being in nature. It is heartwarming to know that science is discovering what wilderness enthusiastic people, spiritual guides, and healers have known since forever. That is, the natural world provides for our needs and can restore our souls when we are dispirited. I'm interested in getting more people outside in intentional forms of nature bathing that are naturally nurturing of mind, heart, body, and spirit. Did you know we are now spending about 93% of our time indoors? By the middle of this century, more than 66% of us will be living in cities. And we are more sick, more stressed, more depressed, more morbid, and we are less likely to report being content and happy. Being in nature is what the healer often orders, and now the doctors also are catching on. Andres R. Edwards educates and consults on sustainable practices for green building and business initiatives. He writes in Renewal, How Nature Awakens Our Creativity, Compassion, and Joy. During one of the most trying times in my life, when my marriage was coming to an end, I would venture daily into the forest area near our home and take the family dog for a long walk. Walking through the meandering fire roads gave me the space to reflect on my current predicament and what lay ahead. Having the dog as my companion was an added bonus. During this difficult time, nature provided me with release from the stress of a major life transition. The exercise, combined with the beautiful scenery and my dog's company, was my daily dose of soothing comfort. Gazing at the ancient redwoods reminded me of the many winter storms and changes they've weathered during their lifetime. Seeing a red-tailed hawk soaring above helped me to think of the need for a bird's eye view, for a broader perspective on my own circumstances. Witnessing the vegetation, ants, butterflies, and squirrels mirrored to me that life is constantly evolving and adapting over time. Looking back several years later, I appreciate the healing power of my walks in nature. The wilderness gave me a place to reflect, discern, plan, and exhale from the stress of the personal changes taking place. Taking time to stop and look closely at the insects, the flowers, rocks, and leaves rejuvenated my spirit, and gave me renewed appreciation for how life is constantly unfolding around us. Even during the subsequent years, as I adjusted to my new status, being in nature gave me a constant grounding that I cherish to this day. This was excerpted from Renewal, How Nature Awakens Our Creativity, Compassion, and Joy by Andres Edwards. Even small doses of nature taken regularly, not in combination with screen time or multitasking, can preserve good health and well-being. Longer infusions can produce more dramatic and perhaps longer lasting health and spiritual benefits. The 3-day effect, the 3-day effect. Outdoor guides have long noticed a shift in people after 3 days on a wilderness trip. On the 3rd day, participants are far enough removed from their ordinary lives that they shift the way they interact with the natural world and the way they reflect on their life and their place in the world. The term 3-day effect was coined by David Strayer, a cognitive psychologist who specializes in the benefit of attention. He wanted to know if this shift in well-being was more than a fleeting emotional high. After taking groups backpacking into the wilderness for at least 3 days, Strayer discovered that the participants performed an impressive 50% better on creative problem-solving tasks. And it was on day 3 that the magic happened. Or, as Strayer put it, this is the point that the cleaning of the mental windshield occurs. It boils down to this: your brain needs a break from technology and everyday stresses. It takes 3 days in nature for your brain to really relax. It takes 3 days for your spirit to renew. Florence Williams is a freelance writer and outdoor enthusiast. On assignment for the National Geographic, she too observed and documented the 3-day effect. When we slow down, stop the busy work, and take in beautiful natural surroundings, not only do we feel restored, but our mental performance improves too. That was Florence Williams, National Geographic, January 2016. But what about the healing powers of nature? Can nature fix what has gone terribly wrong for people who experience trauma, high stress, and anxiety? Or the deeply challenging periods of our lives when things we took for granted or counted on for our own happiness are lost? Florence Williams set out to answer that question. She signed up to go on a wilderness rafting trip in Utah for combat veterans who live with physical and emotional injuries. She signed up to go on a backpacking trip for women who are recovering from being captives in sex trafficking operations. The 3-day effect for both groups was dramatic. Participants were able to talk about their experience and reflect on their lives in ways that gave them an inner calm and hope for the future that they did not have prior to the wilderness trip. It's not rocket science, but it is a bit of magic. There are 3 elements of being in nature that promote and invite us to be restored and renewed. The first, intention. We must be willing to go into nature with the intention of being with nature and allowing the natural world to change us. Attention. We must put aside our devices and to-do lists and use all of our 5 or 6 senses to interact with our surroundings. Most of us rely on just 2 senses, seeing and hearing. When we are in nature, we expand our awareness to include all our senses, and we focus our attention on what we are experiencing. We taste the water. We hear the bird song. We feel the change of wind as it brushes our face. We feel the roughness of the tree's bark. We smell the flowers and the mud and the air. Our awareness expands so we know that we are in the presence of creation and that we are creation, not separate from or an observer of, but that we are creation, along with everything else that surrounds us. It is a sense of being insignificant and all-encompassing all at the same time. When our attention is focused and our heart is open, magic happens. The third is awe. The sense of awe is common when we are in nature, and our intention and attention are in harmony with the place that we are. Awe can occur on a short walk to a high vista, or while watching the tide change at Fundy Bay. A sustained sense of awe can set in with the 3-day effect when everything merges into a creative whole of which we are a part. Some will describe this sense of awe as being in the presence of the divine or God or the angels or the ancestors. Whatever it is, it's amazing. And no one yet has been able to capture adequately the experience in words. That's it. Intention, attention, and awe. Whether we are going full throttle for the multiple health and spiritual benefits of the 3-day effect by participating in a multi-day wilderness trip or taking a healthy dose of forest bathing, from time to time, as nature therapy and restorative wandering in the woods, nature can nurture our spirit and restore well-being and happiness. Healers and spiritual guides have been sending people out into nature for millennia. Time for us to get with the program and get outside. Here in Castine on the Blue Hills Peninsula, we are in a near perfect habitat to take advantage of nature's gifts. A forest bath is half a mile away at Wilbury Woods. On a clear day, the long view is utterly awe-inspiring. On a cloudy or rainy or snowing day, the discovery of things close by in the trees or bushes or patterns of the wind-swept snow is awe-inspiring. Sailors, you know about the restorative power of an hour of simply drifting with the motion of the waves. Sounds a bit like Cambria, right? Minus the snow. Some of you remember the first time you climbed the trail at Blue Hill and looked out on an awe-inspiring panorama view of the ocean. We don't need to go far to be wrapped up in the beauty of nature. We just need to remember to get out and be in nature the best way we can. None of us is probably going to climb Everest or raft the Amazon, but being in nature, even with all our limitations or physical abilities and time constraints, can be a great way to keep strong in body, heart, mind, and spirit. Naturalist John Muir went into nature initially to heal an eye injury, and then for the rest of his life to feed his spirit. He knew all about the benefits of forest bathing and remaining outside for at least 3 days. Keep close to nature's heart and break away once in a while and climb a mountain or spend a week in the woods. Wash your spirit clean. Muir quoted by Samuel Hall Young in Alaska Days with John Muir, 1915. No synonym for God is so perfect as beauty. Whether as seen carving the lines of the mountains with glaciers, or gathering matter into stars, or planning the movement of water, or gardening, still all is beauty. That was from John of the Mountains, the unpublished journals of John Muir, 1938. The ancient Hebrew prophets, priests, and kings knew this all well. Think through the intention, attention, and awe that is evident in the 23rd Psalm. It is not a surprise that these images of nature provide comfort and restoration for many in times of grief, loss, or confusion. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Let me end with the wisdom of our Naho elders who know that beauty is our constant companion. If we allow it, and if we accept its invitation to be with us always. This is I Walk in Beauty, a Navajo prayer song. Beauty in front of me, beauty behind me, beauty above me, and beauty below me. Beauty all around me, I walk in beauty. In the house of long life, there I wander. In the house of happiness, there I wander. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty above me, and beauty below me, beauty all around me. In old age traveling, with it I wander. On the beautiful trail I am, with it I wander. In beauty it is begun, in beauty it is finished. May you always find your way back to nature and let it nurture and restore your spirit. And so it is.
Well, thank you, Sue. That was wonderful. The morning offering will now be given and received. And as a reminder, today is Fourth Sunday, and we are taking the second collection for Green Space. Green Space is dedicated to protecting and enhancing our unique ecological systems and habitats. Your donations will work to preserve both the Monterey pine forests and the marine habitats that make the North Coast a national treasure. We recognize the spiritual value of generosity and invite you to participate. If you are viewing the service remotely, please use one of the methods shown on the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Our thanks for all gifts given and received for the work of this community. Let us now sing the doxology.
From all that dwell below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land by every tongue.
Please stand if you are able and sing the closing hymn, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky, number 301.
Touch the earth, reach the sky, walk on shores while spirits fly. Over the ocean, over the land, our faith a quest to understand. Touch the earth, reach the sky, children ask the reasons why. In our lives the answers show, and by your love they learn and grow. Touch the earth, reach the sky, all are born and all shall die. Life's the time left in between, to follow a star, to build a dream.
Okay. We're one short, okay. No problem. Let us now recite the valediction. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, and we know that the light of truth and love and the warmth of this community go with us until we meet again. Please extinguish your chalice at home now. After the benediction, we encourage you to stay for questions and comments. Diana will call on you when you raise your hand. Sue?
There you go. We're getting together, holding hands again. You must come and join us if you're at home. It's fun. Lots of sanitizer. You can tell Oh, it looks beautiful. I was told I couldn't join you because of the mic, but I'm there in spirit. Here's the benediction. Go into nature with intention. Pay attention to what is around you, and find awe in our beautiful earth. May the forest be with you.